It's the first show of year number 10 of the popular, semi-popular daily fantasy football show on YouTube, the Swolecast. And after a few weeks off, we're here to answer the hard-hitting questions. Are the Titans, the Titanics, tanking for Caleb Williams? Harder than Silicon Valley Bank? Is Davis Maddock going to victory lap the Chiefs? Did the time off make it possible for Tuttle to win multiple five-figure NBA slates? Is Pete's secret obsession pickleball? And are the Bears the new sexy pick with Khalil Herbert as RB1? We have all the hard-hitting answers coming up next on the Swolecast. It's Road to 10K in year 10. It's perfect. Let's go.
Please don't dupe me, bro. I'm begging you, don't dupe me, bro.
It's the poop narrative.
Kitchen's been waiting to say those words.
No.
For 5 years.
All right, welcome back to the Swolecast, the first official episode, year 10 of the Swolecast. Hard to believe, but we're here. Still have not been canceled. Thinking odds are, eventually, year 10, it might happen. Just the rule of large numbers says it might happen. I'm David Kitchen, alongside Peter Overzet, Davis Maddock, and Dan Gasper, Mr. Total 05. And Dan, let's just start with you as the big Packers fan, boots on the ground take. For those that have just switched over to the Swolecast from the Pat McAfee show, what are you hearing?
Man, mega ivermectin. I'm trying to. I want to appeal to that audience as much as possible. Back the blue. That's what we're all about here on the Swolecast.
I mean, Dan. To be honest, serious question, because I've been thinking this recently, because so much of my fandom for the Chiefs is really just related to Patrick Mahomes, right? Like it's very hard for me to imagine the sport without him. What are you feeling right now, knowing Jordan Love is the quarterback?
It's gonna be terrible.
And like 30 years of all pro level quarterback play. Like, why does it just feel...
People thought the same thing though after Favre.
I don't.
No, I mean Love's not it.
Yeah, I don't think that's
pretty
true.
clear. Love's not it. So I've got a few different thoughts about this. First of all, DFS has jaded me to not be individual team sports fan like at all. So I don't want to pretend like I'm some hardcore Packers fan. Like if I root for one team, it would be the Packers, but I'm not like some crazy hardcore fan. And then the second thought about it is we were kind of in the limbo. So it's kind of in that weird stage where your team's good enough to make the playoffs, but they're really not good enough to do anything in the playoffs.
Same.
So you're kind of
if you're not first, you're
last. Do you want to keep that going, or
Yeah.
do you want to rebuild? And I'm not sure on that. Honestly, I'd probably just want to keep it going.
Who are their good players on like team friendly contract? Because isn't the issue that all their really good players are being paid like a shit ton of money?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's some of
Rodgers.
it. I don't know all the contracts, etc. Obviously, we're not spending anything on the skilled position players on offense outside of Rodgers.
Davis, this isn't really a contract show either. I mean, since when have we discussed player-friendly or team-friendly contracts?
What is this show, Dave? Maybe it would be good to kind of set the table.
Maybe
right?
if like someone from corporate or from Better Collective sort of laid a vision for what
I can. Show. Yeah, do you want corporate to get involved with the direction of this show, Davis? You would have no future at all. So let's just keep it. Keep this hidden.
Keep this hidden. Overview, by the way.
I know you do. That's why I didn't want my intro to be too hilarious. But anyways, I was expecting Tuttle to give us the TLDR from the Pat McAfee show. For what I'm hearing, from buddies that are watching.
Am I the only one that tuned in?
The Pat McAfee show is that basically Rodgers to the Jets if the Packers cooperate. And right now, I guess they want 2 first. And
which patently feels insane
no
because
way.
2 first could get you Lamar Jackson right now. And I mean, no disrespect to the 7th greatest quarterback in the NFL, but I would much rather have 26-year-old Lamar Jackson, even though Lamar clearly at this point, someone in his life's got to get him off Twitter because he's just making Lamar is very similar to Rodgers tanking himself publicly right now.
Well,
yeah, I mean, I think it depends if you want to. I think it depends if you want a running back or a quarterback, right?
Base tunnel. I mean, Peter, the leverage is that the Jets have already paid their third tight end, Alan Lazard, and that if the Packers take their ball and go home and just say, we don't care, we will tank our organization for 2 years, the Jets have to go to their quarterback room, look Zach Wilson in the eye, and be like, actually, it was our plan to go with you all along, buddy.
You call up Miami and you're like, about that Mike White thing. Can we do a little take back on that?
Can you?
I did. There was a tweet out there that said they weren't looking for 2 firsts earlier. So I don't know where Dave got his info and if it is actually 2 firsts.
No, that's what Schefter's been saying. But Rodgers did just say on the McAfee show that when Schefter texted him, he told him to, quote, lose his number. That's good. That's good from Rodgers, right? I can be fair and balanced enough to say that is legitimately funny from Aaron Rodgers.
So can you imagine? I was thinking today, like what we did before, like free agency and the tampering period before Twitter. Like it's fun right now, and there might not be a lot out there as far as like talent and fantasy stuff, but the stuff that is out there, we are like just constantly refreshing Twitter to see kind of what's been happening, what the rumors are. People with like less than 100 followers getting, hundreds of retweets on random rumors just because people want them to be true. Peter, how are you doing in this free agency period?
Are you just asking me conversationally, or are you teaming
up
the overview? I'm just still trying to kind of get.
No, I'm conversationally asking you how you are doing right now.
I'm doing good, Dave. I think it's fun. I think it's really fun for all of us. And I mean, to be serious about it, the NBA for a long time was considered like the premier drama level league where people could follow it like a soap opera. And even as like a non-NBA fan, I still will concede the NBA has way more interesting drama. But the NFL is getting closer every day. And you get Lamar sounding off on Twitter. You get Aaron Rodgers being a total freak show. And it is now something where there is just drama basically nonstop.
The NBA started it. Like you've got even like the Titan, like Jeff Simmons, the big defensive tackle who's going to get paid handsomely, removed all the Titans references like on his
no one knows
social media.
No one has any. No one cares. But I will say the NFL, the gap is not closed between the NFL and the NBA in terms of keeping people locked in for 12 months. But the big difference is people actually watch the NFL. The number of people who I like the NBA. Do I watch the NBA every single night? Absolutely not. Of course not. But I would bet more people have Woj notifications on their phone than subscribe to League Pass, right? Mm-hmm. Whereas the NFL, obviously, there's such a demand for viewership of the product. So the
That's
NBA.
Interesting that you think that NBA went woke and now broke, Davis.
Did Ethan Sherwood-Strauss come on the program? No, the issue, the NBA. The NBA.
We don't have to get into the NFL NBA. It was a joke. Let's not get into NFL versus NBA.
Can we talk about Ja Morant instead? I mean,
no, let's not talk about Ja Morant.
I have some spicy Ja Morant takes that I can't have permanently recorded on the internet.
I've seen him.
I thought he was a fool, and then I saw the pictures leaked, and I don't know. I might be changing my mind.
All right. With that being said, it feels like a perfect segue.
I had one more.
Yes.
I had one more take, David.
Okay.
Because this involves your friend. You were talking about NBA, and your close friend is a terrible referee and causing Fred VanVleet to get find. And
okay,
really
I didn't know
show.
if anyone, usually I'm like, I'm one of my close college buddies is now an NBA ref. And now it's just like backing up into, siegebushes.gif. But you as a referee, like you don't want your name to be like a household name, like because generally
you don't.
that's a bad thing. And so I saw an ESPN alert and I just thought it was anybody else. And someone messaged me like, hey, did you see your buddy is getting like publicly blasted out there? And so, tough scene for official Ben Taylor. And with that being said, let's get to Overzet's overview.
Steven, roll the theme music. Steven, you've had almost a month to get this ready. It's a quintessential signature segment on the show. Steven, will you come on real quick? I'm not letting you get away with just a bed of music. Come on the stream, Steven. Steven, where's the intro? Where's the intro music for the segment? It's kind of like what gets me in the frame of mind to really deliver it.
I'll get that to you next week.
Yeah.
Hang on, Steven. While we're here, can we talk about the tweet you did where you used the embed link to share the show?
Did you see my tweet, Peter?
I did, because I have notifications turned on for you.
Okay.
So nice.
Bless your heart.
All right, Steven. I'm letting you off the hook, but if we're going to get to 10K, we all have to step it up around here.
I got it. Thanks, guys.
All right, guys. As you all know, the Swolecast is back after a multi-week hiatus, and the people have been beating down our door, thirsty for our NFL free agency takes, and most importantly, David Kitchen's review of the new churro-dipped cones at Dairy Queen. Spoiler alert, David's actually not a big fan of churros. During our break, we all got invited to compliance training for Better Collective, and I just want to let all of our viewers know that if you or a loved one is experiencing problems with gambling and needs support, and you live in Mass, call 1-800-327-5050 or visit helplinemass.org to speak with a trained specialist free and confidentially 24/7. Moving on. Mr. Tuttle 05 went on an absolute DFS heater during our break, winning $75K across a couple of nights playing NBA, though you'd never know about it because he refused to take a victory lap on Twitter. Tuttle, thank you, though, for preserving our strong personal brand of being DFS donkeys and not letting anyone know about a win. Davis got ratioed by Packers Twitter the other day for making fun of their receivers. But I will say Davis is showing restraint, because I would have thought the old Davis would have been like minus 800 to thread tweet a link to Jeff Janis on the TakeCast, and Davis restrained from doing that. So very well done, Davis. Although then Davis went to a St. Louis Battlehawks game and said he was there to reunite with friend of the pod, Brian Hill. So Davis is back on his David Kitchen reposted his Dairy Queen fleet the other day and got some nice engagement, but now he's tweeting mundane sports thoughts nonstop while chasing the dopamine dragon.
So bad, David.
I would know because I still have notifications turned on for him, and I'm in absolute hell right now. Let's all have a good show today. Back to you, Kitchen.
Thank you. As far as I don't think you guys understand when Pat Carrain, friend of the show, on this show quite a bit, recent multimillionaire winner, when he tweets out, sometimes I find myself really missing the Dairy Queen fleet from Soccer Dave. The amount of joy that gave me, but I had to play it cool in that moment, right? Like I couldn't immediately be like, oh, here it is. Been waiting for it. I had to act like he was forcing me to do it, give it a little bit of time between he said it, and because I had it right there available to post on there. So I
assume you had created a shortcut for the file on your home screen on your phone, just waiting for anyone to ask you to repost it.
Oh, but it was so good, and it got over 100 likes. So things are looking up in the Soccer Dave social media sphere. But we've got some football to talk. Also, congrats Tuttle on the big wins. Tuttle is like, I don't know. Like if I won 75K, I'd be all over the place. I'd be so happy. And Tuttle is like, he feels bad because
are the higher ups at Better Collective not telling Dan that he needs to be?
Oh yeah, like he like mentioned it like very briefly in Discord chat. Like didn't even say like I won. He was just like, oh, cool. And then someone had to pull that up and then use it in our own testimonials. And he's like, he feels bad because it happened. He feels bad because it happened. Like because of a player injury, because of LaMelo's injury.
You can't
Void LaMelo. Void LaMelo.
You can't victory lap a LaMelo Ball injury, man.
Tuttle, have you seen Craig's victory laps these days? Trust me, it's fine.
They had to
nearly died.
Clone DeMar Hamlin. Like Kareem played into like a vast multinational conspiracy, and he didn't.
Okay, he was radio silent though, right? Kareem, what really? He really
that was the only PR move. Only PR move in that spot was total radio silence.
Yeah.
But one of the whole thesis of play whoever you want or live a little or don't play the high owned players is something like this happening, right? So I feel like you are well within your means of saying there's a reason why you X'd out LaMelo in 150 of your lineups, and just one of those hit. But that's kind of the whole thesis of the play and why so many people tune into the show for football takes is that we give a lot of takes. All it takes though is just one little nugget for you to win your league or win your
spoken
GPPs.
Like a real gambling addict.
Speaking like a Millie winner right there.
Yeah, well,
I will say, Tuttle, you're never going to get a job at Run Pure if you're not willing to post your screenshots like that. I hope you're willing and committed with Better Collective.
All right, let's move on to some.
This was good. This is good. This is bringing me back into like I get why people like Aaron Rodgers. This is funny.
Yeah.
Kareem's trying to compete with us too. He sent out some personal news tweet.
What's going on?
He's leaving Roto World. He's going to make his announcement tonight on Ship Chasing what he's up to next. So there you go.
He's too rich for Roto World now.
And now and Harditz left PFF, and I don't know if that timing is coincidence, but let's check their social medias and see what's going on if they've removed.
Swolecast reads David Kitchen's Twitter feed. What a show!
No, good luck to Pat. I guess after winning $2 million, you can do really whatever you want with that brand that he's got now. Although I wonder, like him coming on the Swolecast, if that's going to even happen.
You're not going to have any problem booking Pat to do shows. This guy would show up to the opening of an envelope at this point.
He does. He's very good that way.
We do have to have him on our annual draft analysis show coming up on the Swolecast where he grades out offensive linemen and defensive tackles.
I don't know how to add comments anymore with this new version of whatever software we're on. But we're going Cloud9 over FlyQuest. Standish.
Always.
What?
Our is
you got to be grinding league, otherwise you don't know what.
I have no clue what you're talking about.
Is FPX still the GOATs?
Oh no, they kind of suck now for LPL.
We cannot have this talk on our free agent show.
So I actually play League of Legends now. I've gone full nerd and
you have time to do that in between raising your 97 children.
Tuttle won 75K, and he's like, "What am I going to get myself?" Did you get yourself a gaming computer with your money?
No, my oldest wants one though for Minecraft. Dude, I loved video games and stuff growing up. I have never understood Minecraft, and I don't think I ever will.
So how are you playing League of Legends?
You guys Minecraft?
No.
My college girlfriend played Minecraft.
If you guys are talking League of Legends, then David Kitchen and I get to talk about our Bitcoin Angel NFT, and if you were considering heading to the castle party with Trevor Jones or not, David.
Who's Trevor Jones?
Oh my gosh!
Oh my God!
Jeez, how quickly we forget.
Two editions of the Bitcoin Angel I've been sitting on.
Man, do you guys remember NFT Summer? What a crazy moment of collective psychosis!
We're on the 2-year anniversary of the Mooncat rediscovery. Seriously, this week.
And the Mooncat rediscovery was like deep into the NFT boom too.
All right.
Dave,
But seriously, let's get some.
What is the Mooncat
Yeah.
floor right now?
Just let's not. Do
I have
this.
no clue.
I
Say probably like 0.25 or something. So, all right. I do want to get into some football takes. People said, "Are we here for football takes?" Some people are. Some people they do tune in for that. I don't want to go over like the boring stuff, like what team is impacted the most by the free agent signings. I want us to like get
talk about
into
the sexy stuff like Jacoby Myers on the Raiders.
like what we want. Like what else is left out there?
That's actually kind of interesting. There's like a meta-analysis of Jacoby Myers signing for 3 years, $32 million, I think, because that number, it's like I think every free agent list out there had him as the number one wide receiver available, but clearly not, right? So then it's like, okay, how much is Hardman going to get paid? But then it becomes more interesting of like, okay, what teams are comfortable being bad this year and have any wide receiver who is interesting at all? Like, is someone going to trade a first-round pick for Chris Godwin? Could McLaurin maybe get traded after signing his extension? What about just some team trade a third-round pick for Romeo Doubs to the Packers if the Packers just go to the full tank? Like the wide receiver market, because teams need wide receivers so bad, this wide receiver class incoming is pretty poor. And I think Hardman, rightfully so, is like, you want me, bro? 4 years, $100 million.
The wide receiver class is poor, and because of all the re-signings, like, this is partly why the Bears traded for DJ Moore, is because nothing was on the table as far as like wide receivers, when Jacoby Myers is the guy.
Well, they wanted DJ Moore because, according to reports, Poles just wanted to add veteran talent with that pick, basically. Yeah. And it sounded like the Texans don't have any good players. The Texans signed the 40th best player from every other team in unrestricted free agency, so they don't have any good players to trade.
I want your guys' take on this because it's been a hot topic of debate. This move for DJ Moore's 2023 fantasy value: downgrade, neutral, or upgrade?
Down.
70% of the outcomes are down.
So me and Kitchen are on the upgrade. You two are on the downgrade.
What side do you want to be on there, Pete?
So the Bears last year, if you include Fields' plays where he turned passing plays into scrambles, were like the run heaviest team in the NFL.
They threw the least amount of pass yards of any team in the league.
Is this kind of like Jalen Hurts 2.0? Like,
that's my take.
That's the thesis. My take would be, all due respect to Mr. Fields, Jalen Hurts is much better than he is, like much better.
But I would say less about like Fields' progression, which obviously has to happen, but more about the team changing their philosophy. Like them running the shit ton out of the ball with Darnell Mooney as their wide receiver one makes sense. But now you get DJ Moore a full season with Claypool, people playing in their natural roles. Like you got to think they scheme up more pass plays next year.
I think it widened the band of his range of outcomes, right? Where I think like 80 catches, 1,200 yards, 9 touchdowns or whatever is within the range, and that never would have been within the range in Carolina. But there are going to be a lot of games where Fields throws the ball 17 times and DJ Moore is 2 for 20, which I guess is really not that different than his time in Carolina. Fields is a very impressive player. He's been very impressive running the ball. The passing stuff is still an issue, and maybe even more so. He has taken a sack on 13.4% of his dropbacks as a professional. That is like that. Like Joe Burrow looks at that and is like, "My God, dude, just get rid of the ball." It's a real problem.
I don't get why people are like giving Chase Claypool credit too.
They're not.
Yeah, they are. Like people will always use it. Pete just used him. Is like, okay, like they got Chase Claypool. But like he was with the Bears long enough last season to have any sort of impact at all, and he just didn't.
I don't think I haven't heard too many people, because did they trade him for a first or a second?
Everybody always
the 30 second.
Yeah, look at this receiving room now. DJ Moore, Chase Claypool, blah blah blah. But it's like,
if Chase Claypool is your third option, you're doing fine.
I think Claypool is pretty good.
He thrived in that role in Pittsburgh. He was never the
I think he's athletically talented. I think he's good. It's just like he had time to do stuff with the Bears last season, and he struggled to even get on the field.
And was playing behind Dante Pettis.
Right, exactly. So that it was something there mentally that he couldn't get on the same page, and maybe the offseason, helps him. I'll give you that, but it wasn't promising at the end of last season.
But don't you have to think at the very least, we know Justin Fields can throw the deep ball. We know DJ Moore can get loose deep. Like there's going to be more explosive plays. He has to have touchdown regression. Never had more than 7 TDs at a year, only 21 in his entire career. Like there has to be more big plays here. I'll grant you that maybe he'll be a frustrating season long to start.
I mean, he had 100.
But on your best ball teams,
Pete, he had 163 targets in 2021.
All right, we got too much to talk about to spend too much time on DJ Moore, right? Lots of stuff to talk about.
What are the sexy things you want to talk about if we don't have time for DJ Moore?
We just talked about it. We got to move on. I want to move on to his teammate Khalil Herbert, new RB1, but really just the running back position.
They're signing Ezekiel Elliott, bud. So just if you're drafting Khalil Herbert, I mean, I'll just tell you, like, I don't have any reporting, but I'm just telling you it's happening.
Davis has the connection with the linebackers coach in Dallas.
I actually think he got.
You have a connection with the linebackers coach in Tennessee. But as far as the running back position, right? Like we're all dynasty players in here. Tuttle probably the biggest one.
I love dynasty. Let me tell you,
I love dynasty. So we're all looking at some of our picks
after this.
Like I've got, Khalil Herbert, Tony Pollard, Rashad Penny.
Well, Pollard is probably the most interesting one to talk about right now.
Hold on. Let me finish. Rashad White.
Let the chef set the table.
Yeah. Thank you. And so people are getting really, RB1 season. But the reality is, like, you still have a bunch of running backs who have not landed. And then you've got Bijan, who's going to come in and like just wreck somebody like really bad. You also have people like Austin Eckler seeking a trade. So the running back position is just all up in the air. Davis, go ahead with your Pollard take.
I mean, it's just like a matter of how much do they give him the ball, right? He was the running back 8 last year with 235 touches. How much more do we think he will get? Do we think he can scale up to 300 touches? Or do we think that this is a team that brings in, Jamal Williams, drafts Zach Charbonnet in the 3rd round or whatever? Like
Malik Davis got that juice.
Yeah. Malik
Davis, what happened to your cord?
Yeah, I know. I just saw that too.
I have to tape that up on the wall when I do TV, but
it's our 10th year, Davis.
Dude, sell another Tyler Hero moment and get that fixed.
I have these stucco walls so it doesn't stick all day.
For Pollard, like I honestly think you were rooting for Zeke to stay there because, like Davis said, if they draft like a guy like Zach Charbonnet who might actually have some juice, that's a far bigger problem for him than Zeke, who can't manage more than 2 yards per carry right now. Like I actually think Zeke leaving is bad news for Pollard.
I don't agree. Because there is that take, like, at least they have the option now. Like, the probability of Pollard being the guy, including, like, goal line carries.
They're never going to do that, though. They're always going to bring in another body. They're not giving him 25 carry or touches a game. It's just not how they're going to use him.
They'll bring in somebody. Somebody will probably be more talented than Zeke, which I agree with, which is Pete's take. But they don't have that stubborn commitment.
Right. I think that's probably the biggest difference is that Jerry Jones is not going to be in the ear of I guess Brian Schottenheimer now, basically being like, if you don't give Zeke the ball on the 2-yard line, your whole family is going to be gone.
Remember when Davis used to be a Cowboys fan?
Just like trying to salvage and not looking so bad with the Zeke signing, and he was like,
I think he just actually loved him. I think he just, because like think of all the great Cowboys running backs that there've been and bad ones too. But even the bad ones, like Jerry was obsessed with Felix Jones, who was never good, but he would just always demand. And any running back who went to Arkansas, they signed Darren McFadden about 2 years after his expiration date because he went to Arkansas, which is where Jerry went. You just
Davis
can't really...
knowing all the history of the Cowboys. is because Davis was a huge Cowboys fan until Kansas City drafted Mahomes, which is what he was talking about. So my question is Tuttle, who once the Packers start to lose, who is going to be your number 2 team now? Like, who's going to be your alternate?
I won't have a number 2 team. I barely have a number 1 team.
You got to choose.
I just don't have. What I was gonna say is that I actually have very fond memories for some reason of those Arkansas running backs for Dallas.
Well, they were amazing. The 2 guys in college were amazing.
Yeah, they were great. But yeah, Dave, I'm not gonna have a number 2 team that I.
Who is Theo Vaughn?
He's a.
Oh my gosh!
You
just
don't
add this to the list of. Davis will, like, a year from now, will know who Theo Vaughn is, but he is such a boomer where he doesn't know who was it. Like Tim Ferriss, he didn't know who Tim Ferriss was, and then after that, it was I forget who it was.
He's a very funny comedian who's blown up on TikTok.
I've seen this guy. He's on
your boy's favorite podcast, Joe Rogan's podcast.
Fine, I can kind of see the resemblance.
Yeah, I can kind of see it. I've seen this guy. I didn't know that was his name.
He was actually on. The first time I saw him was on MTV's like Road Rules or Real World, right? Tuttle.
What?
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure. I don't know that. Are you serious?
I didn't know who he. Right. Go ahead.
I was gonna say is the entire first half of his career was trying to like shed the reality star moniker, and then he went like full stand-up podcast.
No way! Star. I did not know this about him at all.
That's how I knew him.
I still watch all the really shit like. They got so many spinoffs now, and I still watch it all on Paramount.
Secret Chat is only Tuttle asking people if they watch the challenge right now.
And then Wiggins asking me why I hate conservative media personalities, being like, "Why do you hate this person?"
I can't believe Theo Vaughn was on the channel. I mean, this might have been like before my.
Yeah. That looks like 1997.
Yeah, it probably was because that's when I was paying attention. Okay, so let's move on to Lamar Jackson, shall we?
No, I wanted to really have Tuttle nail down the team he was going to root for now.
Who are you going to root for now?
Entertaining Swolecast viewership.
The Jets? You get to choose, Tuttle.
I actually so I was excited about the Jets' destination until he started to bring all his wide receivers with him. Because you got to admit, like Aaron Rodgers with Garrett Wilson, Elijah Moore, like that's fun.
Giants adding Darren Waller,
with Alan Lazard and Randall Cobb. We've seen that, and it's not all that fun.
Giants adding Darren Waller to their squad. Like I drafted so many Giants stacks last year, and I thought I was done with them.
Like 7 of them, like 7 out of your 15 teams.
No, like out of the 50. Davis, I'm not going to bring up my finalist standing on right now. I don't have to present my ROI.
Like you just did, Dave.
Oh, whoops.
Dave, how many Rodgers Jet stacks did you have before this news broke?
I haven't drafted any best ball.
Oh, I want to ask Peter this question since this is not on his stream or Underdog state sponsored program. Do you think it's a little insane that there that people are grinding their dicks off on March 15th for best ball, or are we just so far past that it's not even worth remarking on anymore?
It's funny you're saying that because I'm literally for my my newsletter post on Friday, I'm writing about this exact thing of people calling
people
us
having a problem
with drafting. So yeah, I have lots of thoughts. I do think it's crazy, but you can't deny that there is a demand. And
I'm not denying the demand. I guess my take would be is I'm going to be so sick of drafting by August 15th, like I just am going to be like,
I call bullshit on that, Davis. You drafted 109 teams on a random Saturday in December. Like,
well, do you remember the mitigating circumstance there? I don't know if the Chasing Corain fire is going to be burning as brightly. Maybe it will be. I don't know.
So I guess, is your question related to best ball content being this early or just people drafting?
No, I'm good. I'm good with the content. I don't even mind people drafting. I guess what seems crazy to me is the idea that you would max the big board, max best ball mania. It's like you're just in and which I guess, I don't know, maybe it helps just to be in a permanent state of drafting.
I will say, like, as an added benefit, it is like when you go on a bunch of shows and I'm writing the newsletter and you're doing like to have your finger on the market and know like what's happening is like very like every talking point I have. Like we did a whole segment on Club Top Shot yesterday about the NBA playoff best ball stuff. And I could talk for 30 minutes about NBA because I've done 20 of those drafts. I know nothing about the NBA, but I can at least tell you about the ADPs and how the draft goes and stuff. I don't know. It just provides good talking point fodder because what the hell else are we going to talk about all off season?
Well, this
Our
is
$50
why also,
dynasty teams.
This is also why the dynasty best ball Superflex format is the ultimate format, because this is the only time where you have to really pay attention to it, and then that's it.
Here's the thing, though. I
Yeah.
don't log in. I do the startup drafts for the Dynasty Superflex David Kitchen sponsored format. I enjoy doing the startup, and then I never check in on it other than the rookie draft. I don't care about making trades. I don't sweat the standings. I don't sweat anything.
Well, then you are not the target audience. Like I feel like I am like you've got like a month window and that's it. After that, everyone, once the draft happens, you do your draft, and then all the trades have already happened, and then you move on to redraft leagues. And so this is like the perfect time to, decide, am I going to tank? Am I going to not tank? And that's it, and you still get to keep up with what's happening and beat your chest if, one of your 30 players is now in a better standing than what it was. I'm about to do another startup. I'm going to do, because I like to do one every 2 years. I can't do like people that have 20 dynasty leagues. They have more of a problem than the best ball drafters, because the amount of time that it takes for one dynasty league in order to be competitive.
I mean,
Davis, I know you feel me.
13.
Oh my gosh. Like how can you effectively manage 13? Or is it just like you're just punting it?
Yeah.
It's like regular dynasty league.
Yeah. Tuttle is in one. He asks me questions when he does his rookie draft. I mean, it's like the Incredible Hulk meme, like, what's your secret? I'm always angry. Like, you just asked me, like, what's your secret? The secret is like 6 of them I just don't do shit with, and they just wither on the vine.
Well, here's a question for you, Davis, because I will say before we were drafting best ball teams around this time, and when I did start playing Dynasty and I was in a bunch of leagues and I was super engaged, I would spend this
comedy
time,
hour, Pete, right?
Exactly. But I would spend this time, sending out trade offers. You're going back and forth with people over email, like hours of your day gone negotiating trades. Like, is drafting a best ball team any different than spending your time doing that for a dynasty league right now?
This is why I'm saying people that have multiple dynasty leagues have more of a problem than the people that are just just drafting multiple best ball teams before we know anything. Like Reeves sent me a trade offer and I'm like, sure. It sounds good. Like, I'm not gonna, like, haggle with Reeves on this. Is like, yeah, it sounds fun. Like, let's do it.
I've done 2 trades today, but one of them took me going back and forth with Leone for like. We've been going back and forth for like 48 hours.
Yeah, I don't know if I could do another league with Leone or Britt Devine. Like, I just don't know if I have it.
Too much action.
Leone,
do not. No, Britt is way. Yeah, Britt's way worse than Michael.
I don't know.
I was gonna say, here's the thing though. We're not normal people either. Like, we're in our little old fantasy world. Like, normal people with real life jobs eat this shit up. Like, they eat trying to do trades. Like, it gives them something to distract their brain from their normal.
It's like watching the Real
I thought
Housewives.
you were very close to saying their hellish existence, and I was like, relax.
No.
I mean,
remember that one time Davis pissed off blue collar workers on this show? That was great.
Well, it's because I've lived the reality many times, like a lot of times. Like, when you go, I used to love MLB DFS during the day because when you worked a 9 to 5, you got to draft a team, you got to follow it throughout the day while you're working your job, and like it was awesome. And now, I mean, I hate it now because you actually have to like bang out content for it and stuff.
Tuttle, you say you hate it. You say, all the stuff you hate about DFS NBA, and then you're in there putting 150 lineups in, shipping 75.
Yeah, I do hate NBA DFS. It takes way
so
too
like
much time.
I don't know.
We're not.
It
normal
feels a little bit
people, is what I'm
disingenuous. Yeah.
No, what I'm saying is we're not normal people. We have a very diluted reality of existence with gambling, coexistence with gambling, whereas like most people do not have that delusion.
Yes, Tuttle is right. We definitely have an unhealthy relationship with speculating on stuff.
I think it's really about like finding your your satiation point. I don't even know like that's how you say it, but basically, yeah, maybe. But basically, to your like filled up. Like I don't feel like I have to play DFS NBA now.
Because like on the
you did at one
front.
point though. You definitely, and that's the thing. Yeah, you do like you almost feel like I feel I
go
have
in
to
seasons
play,
now, right?
and it's not fun.
Pete.
Oh no, I was just gonna say, like in doing like streams and stuff too, I'm like, I think it's absurd that people watch people play video games all day.
Mm-hmm.
But then it's like I do think like best ball streaming right now is basically just video games for people who like fantasy.
Mindless takes, basically.
Yeah.
Background music. With the
I mean, like that's being a little reductive to I think the show I put on, Dave. But
I don't
take it.
I don't know. I always usually have it.
You're at Home Depot and you throw the AirPods in with your YouTube Premium in the background. It's fine.
All right. Let's talk about, please. We got 10 minutes left. Let's talk about Lamar Jackson. Whatever. Let's talk about Lamar Jackson and where he's going and what that's going to do. Let's just assume that he does not land in Baltimore.
Wow, Hoffman earning his salary with this one. He had that one ready to go too.
Let's assume that he does not go to Baltimore.
I don't think it was the best idea ever for him to tweet 3 years, $133 million fully guaranteed. I don't know if that was like the best thing he could have done personally.
Yeah, like do you Davis, you're big in conspiracy theories. Do you think that the league is blackballing him?
It's not true. It's not true.
The fact that you get so defensive about it means there's a kernel of
No, the thing is, and I've said this before
Here's the thing.
Conspiracy theories when I was growing up used to be amazing because it meant that you didn't trust the government, but you also didn't trust big businesses, right?
Yeah.
Now, every conspiracy theory is about how every person who's ever voted Democrat in their life, like, eats children. Like, conspiracy theories have been ruined by the right wing of America. It used to be cool. They're not cool anymore. So you can't be called a conspiracy theorist.
Remember when you supposedly could go on Wayfair and order a child?
Yeah.
It's
How do you think I have so many?
It's like yes, the Tuttle makes the point perfectly. It's like the conspiracy theory used to be, did you know the U.S. federal government knows about aliens and keeps it from you? And now it's
now it's just like a given. Like, yes, there is aliens.
Well, yeah,
I think what Davis is saying is he misses the days where he could get all of his conspiracy news from the No Mercy pod. And now it's everywhere. There's not one dedicated source for it.
Davis thinking that conspiracy theories are just limited to one side of the aisle is why.
No, it's not about either side of the aisle. It's about distrusting. It's about distrusting the people in power in general. But the issue is now is that the conspiracy theories have been bifurcated, that there is one group of people who are the gatekeepers for truth and one group of people who are the constructors of the fake
Davis
reality.
Is pointing to like different things on it.
Bifurcated is going like this.
It's one of my biggest pet peeves in life that you can't, like, if I was going to be chatting, talk to someone at a golf course, bar, whatever, and I was like, oh, the conspiracy theory X, Y, or Z, they'd be like, well, that guy's a fucking lunatic. Like,
well, it's just real, now it's just the truth. All right, enough with
this all started, by the way, with Lamar Jackson, and there's 100% owner collusion going on, whether it's blatantly out there is one thing.
Yeah, if you don't believe that, I have a bridge in Idaho to sell you for sure. Like, you got to be a stone moron to not think that. And I don't even think it was communicated. I don't think that if there was like a lawsuit, I don't think you could go in and find emails of Steve Biscotti, the Ravens.
Well, it's like
owner,
the Kaepernick stuff, right? It's like an understanding, right? I
think the Kaepernick stuff. I think
that one might have been verbal.
Yeah, I think they didn't let that get to court for a reason. But I think it was basically just, fuck Deshaun Watson. We are not giving these contracts out. Hold the line. We are not giving, like, what Kyler get, $156 million guaranteed to his deal. I bet that's the most we see for 5 years.
To play slight devil's advocate, who, if there wasn't, say, mass collusion or everyone holding the line together, who would be the teams that you think would be running to give Lamar what he wants right now?
Panthers, Dolphins, Falcons,
not
Commanders.
The Panthers, because they've already made their
Panthers
move.
are not.
But the Panthers could have, instead of trading their whole team to take Anthony Richardson, they could have just got good Anthony Richardson, Lamar Jackson.
I'm going to say Falcons, and then I'm going to say another team that's going to surprise you.
Falcons is the one that
Titans.
most makes me believe it's a conspiracy because the Falcons actually spent money on their team, but they don't have a quarterback.
Titans with Lamar honestly makes so much sense.
There was an article in Sports Illustrated today about like just the offense of Lamar and Derrick Henry and like just how unique it would be. And it's not like the Titans don't have any receivers besides my buddy Traylon Burks. But as far as what the Titans are doing, they haven't made any moves really on the offensive side of the ball except for a few offensive linemen. So,
I mean, as a Titans fan, what are you wanting them to do, David?
Okay, so this comes back to your tweet yesterday, or your response to my tweet as far as the Jets looking for Aaron Rodgers when they can have Tannehill for much cheaper, right? I don't want Tannehill on the team. I'm at that point in my fandom. Like Tuttle said,
wow.
If you're not
giving up on Ryan Tannehill.
And this might even be
they were the one seed in the AFC 18 months ago, David, and you're ready to wave the white flag.
Since then we have seen like that was when they had AJ Brown, right? Like I think letting him go, huge mistake. And we've also seen some other big misses as far as like the offensive lines and shambles. And so I'm on this thing where if you're not first, you're last. But here's the thing. There's only one team that's going to be able to get Caleb Williams next year, right? And so Tuttle kind of mentioned this, like you want them to be bad, but can the Titans be worse than everybody else? I don't think so because their defense is like decent. If you have a decent defense and you almost beat the Chiefs with Malik Willis, can you really be the worst team in the NFL? I don't know. Like you have to really try to tank. And so my theory is like I don't want Tannehill on the team because I think Tannehill on the team means like
so do you want it to
you're
be
6-10.
Do you want a year of Malik just figuring out what he's got in the chamber?
Malik and Josh Dobbs. I don't think Malik has anything in that chamber, but I think it's at least tank or go the opposite side and trade for Lamar or sign Lamar or like Trey Lance, somebody.
Here's the thing. Giving up 2 first-round picks when you're really shitty like the Titans are, like, do Titans have any good players at all? I don't think so. The Falcons at least have, like, 2 good corners. They got Kyle Pitts. Like, they have more of a bones of a roster.
Yes.
And they play
the Titans do
division.
have good players. They don't have – like, they've got a good defense. On offense, they don't have any receivers.
Weren't they literally the worst defense last year? Like, weren't they just
2 years ago?
awful?
2 years ago. And then last year, they were really good. And they get back Harold Landry as well this year. So as far as like offensive side of the ball, they've got Chig, who is a legit weapon.
He is. Been
beating the Chig drum for, almost 12 months now. And then you've got Traylon and Derrick Henry, and that's it. Really, it's tough to get. They're not tendering Nick Westbrook-Akeen. And so it's like there's no one on the offensive side.
I heard Nick Westbrook-Akeen might be a Chief, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
I just want to say Kitchen started this show saying, let's get to the, the sexy stuff, the big news. And now we've spent the past 10 minutes listening to him mumble about the Titans.
Davis wanted to know, and I think it's a real thing for people who don't have elite quarterbacks. Like if you don't have an elite quarterback right now, what's the point? Siege, the Siege voice. What's the point?
I mean, here's the thing. I'm so glad we're finally getting to do this show. But like these AFC teams are kind of drawing dead right now because they're all getting to the point where they have to pay. So I think the Bengals are kind of messing up this offseason. I said this earlier in the
they haven't done anything.
System. I think the Bengals, this is the last year they're not having to pay mega contracts to Joe, T, and Chase. I think they should be a la the Rams, Saints, just mortgaging the future for 5 years on this year because the Bills have to pay their mega deal to Josh Allen. It's starting this year. And Mahomes is already on his deal as well. This is like a really unique spot for the Bengals to be the best team in the AFC, and they're not really doing it, which seems confusing to me.
They signed Travion Williams, I think.
Oh, yeah. Don't you think, though, the way with how much variance there is in the NFL playoffs, that like even the concept of shoving it all in for 1 year is just like foolhardy. Like, don't you want to be thinking in 2 to 3 year windows?
I don't
mean,
know.
you
The
can have
Rams,
the best team, and you could still get upset in the divisional round.
Oh yeah, sure, yes. Which is bad. Which actually is the converse of what I'm saying, which is catch Mahomes on a bad day in the office, like
Right.
the Bengals did in 2021, and it all works out.
it's like dynasty. Either tank or go all for it. Like, what did the Rams do? They went for it and they got it.
At
in
what
that year.
cost, Dave? The organization is in shambles.
Yeah, these are the worst takes on the internet. Are the how screwed are the Rams? Am I right? It's like they literally won a championship 12 months ago.
You would trade a championship season for like 20 years of mediocrity.
And I think the conversion is 5 years, personally.
After the whole bank collapse, Dave, the conversion rates have down.
Davis, left the Cowboys for the Chiefs because of your mediocrity.
Inaccurate. I left them because it was an abusive relationship and it wasn't good for either one of us. But I've done this with the Royals. The Royals won a championship. They made the World Series in 2014. They won in 2015. It's 2023. They are absolutely horrible. There's not a snowball's chance in hell probably of them winning a championship within the next 10 years. And it stinks. It really does stink. Like it hurts.
And it's relatively easy. Maybe it's because we're getting older, but think about the Bears and what we thought about their front office. Like what seems like a few years ago with the Mitch Trubisky stuff, like, oh, they're idiots. They're not going to do. And now it's just like, ooh, the Bears have turned it around. You know,
I want to refute this as well. The Bears are not going to be as good as people think.
Well, it sounds like you're already hating on the Bears. Yeah.
I mean, here, let's see. They're
still second to win that division behind the Lions.
But see, that to me feels too rich.
You think
who do you think is better than
Packers?
I think the Jordan Love Packers have a decent chance of being better than the Bears.
Tuttle, will you not sign off on that take?
I don't sign off on that take.
This is because, Davis, you're only interested in the fantasy stuff. Like, they've actually made some other like good actual teams.
Well, here, I'm looking at the prices.
And they've got Edmonds guy on the Bills. They got him. I read that.
Yeah. Got some linebackers or something. Some good linebackers.
So to win the division, the Bears are third. This is right. Lions, Vikings, Bears, Packers. Yeah. I think the gap between the Packers and the Bears is maybe 10 or 15 cents too long, but third to win the division to me.
But they've got 3 more years. Is like and they're set up.
Why would they have 3 more years?
Justin Fields'
contract.
Fields is going into year 3 now.
Yeah,
so they have 1 year.
3, 4, and then a 5th-year option.
This dude is going to be the same thing as Lamar. This dude does not want to play for what is his base, $14 million or whatever.
I think the thing we should be saying is that the Lions should be like minus 900 to win the division now that they got David.
Yeah,
fair.
Good luck with that backfield. And man, now you got the you have other teams that are these sexy signings and people, these free agents like Leonard Fournette and Adam Thielen out there. Zeke, where are they going to go?
Dude, Thielen's just dust.
I don't know.
He's
a locker room guy.
Oh,
no,
I want this
Titan to backfill the Robert Woods void.
By the way, the New England Patriots are the team that should do this non-exclusive tag on Lamar. They should give him the full guarantee, give him the bag. Robert Kraft has infinite money, and they suck at drafting anyways. The Patriots
on the flip side, like the Patriots used to be like the big brain team, right? And now they're not making any moves. Their team is in.
That's a little bit of a Windhorst meme. You know, it's like, were the Patriots always the big brain team, or did they just have the greatest guy to ever play, and that gave them a huge amount of win expectancy every year?
It's almost like quarterback's important. So, all right. I did meet
if Bill
Traylon
Belichick.
Hurts.
If Bill Belichick
Davis,
never,
I need to tell the story. It trumps your Bill Belichick stuff.
Okay.
I met Traylon Burks in real life. And that was an important moment for me.
Where? How?
Yeah.
Any more color to this story?
Planet Fitness?
Did he recognize you?
No, he did not recognize me. And usually the thing in Nashville is like you let celebrities go. I've seen other Titans players I was actually a greeter though at my church. You know, you're supposed to say, "Hey, welcome. We're not that weird." You know, yada yada yada. And so he comes up to me and I'm like, "This guy looks like Traylon Burks." And so I had to introduce myself to him. You know, hey, welcome. I'm David. And he's like, "Hey, I'm Traylon." And like he did not say Traylon, which is one of my biggest pet peeves out there. And when
he said his name
did,
correctly?
yes, he said his own name correctly. So I knew he wasn't, catfishing me or whatever it was. But when he did, I turned into, this is going to surprise you guys. It turned into like just a blubbering idiot. Where usually, again, I've been around other famous people, celebrities, and I can keep my cool. But I was just
we all hear your cold opens here. We know how eloquent of a speaker you
right.
are.
So I was like, "Oh, you play for the Titans?" He's like, "Yeah." Or no, I said, "You wouldn't be the Traylon Burks that plays for the Titans, would you?" And he's like, "Yeah." And at that moment, I'm like telling myself, just like, "Shut up," like, all right, that's enough. Let him go about his day. And then I just keep talking. And
it's like when David is the guy who like finally worked up the courage to talk to the hot girl at the gym, and he like the opening line went well, but then he doesn't know when to shut up, so he keeps talking, and then
like in my head, I'm like, just shut up, because like this guy is not that interested in you.
And that is how David Kitchen lost his job as a greeter at his church.
David, we can't have you stalking the members.
You want to change numbers?
What's funny is when I met Travis Kelce, he recognized me. I didn't even have to do. 100% he did. Ask him.
I'm not going to ask him, but he did not recognize you.
Yes, he did, because of a
what
meme
you say?
You did. Because of a meme you did where you photoshopped my face onto my then girlfriend of me kissing Travis Kelce.
So what did you say when you met him? I vaguely remember. This is a long time. We've done this show for 10 years. But you had didn't you have a big stain on your shirt?
I got not a big stain. I had a little spot of water. But yes, you are right. That is true. I was just out at dinner in Kansas City and met him. But he followed me on Twitter already. So he already knew who I was.
Does he still follow you on Twitter?
Let's check. That's actually a great question.
So what did you say? So you went up to him?
Yeah, he's still of the 1,374 people that he follows on Twitter. I'm one of them.
Have you ever DM'd him?
Okay.
I did DM him once in 2018. I asked him to come on the podcast. No response.
So what did you say to him though when you met him in real life?
I mean, basically same deal. Like, hey, nice to meet you. Huge fan. Love the Chiefs. Cool guy. You want to take a picture? And he was like, yeah.
Oh, you ask him for a picture? That is like, I wouldn't do that.
You do have to do it though.
No, wait, your team picture, Pete?
In that,
I thought you'd be team play cool.
It depends on the level of the celebrity. Like Travis Kelce, probably one of my, I'll say 20 favorite athletes of all time. But if I used to see Royals players around, and I would be like, "Hey, Mike Moustakas, you take a picture with me?" Like, it's not that serious.
Here's the thing, too. I will say, Tuttle, it definitely has to be, the situation has to be right. Like, you can't chase down a guy in the airport who's trying to catch his flight.
Peter gets it. There's a time and a place.
You have to
Kitchen
massage it with some.
Kitchen probably should have Traylon Burks would rather have taken a quick selfie with you than get bogged down in a 5-minute conversation.
Yes, great point, Peter. Great point.
See, my only actual famous person interaction was Mark Wahlberg. Got into an elevator with him.
Is he as big of a douche in real life as he is on social media?
Oh, he's a tiny dude. Just give him the head nod. That's all we did. Acknowledged each other. You got to play it cool.
Yeah,
I used to hang out with this girl who knew Dorial Green Beckham when he was on the Eagles. When he was on the Eagles.
I've heard forever.
That's a deep cut.
Well, it was when he was on the Eagles. Remember?
Yeah.
And he was the worst dude to be around. So I never fanned out on him. It's like, oh great.
Someone of that status wants you to recognize.
What definitely wants you
them to take pictures. Yeah.
Well, no, at that point, he was the number one receiver out of high school before he went to Missouri.
He was also the number one receiver in college until he kept breaking the law.
Right. You don't remember the Titans traded for him, so I do remember DGB. So all right, we're spread out. Let us know in the comments what you would do if you.
We're spread.
We're spread out. What
That's
what
the
we
new
would do.
slogan for the show. The Swolecast. We're spread out.
We're spread
It's not
out.
concentrated. We're not super concentrated. We're spread out all over the place. Hashtag live a little. So leave us a comment as far as what you would do. I think mine completely has to do with like being fantasy related. Like I think if there's another fantasy player that you recognize, then I would probably, someone that like I had beat the drum for, I'd go up to him for sure.
Who's a person who's so famous you wouldn't go up to them? Like they're too famous and you wouldn't be able to do it.
I'd say if you're famous, like if you're like super famous at all, like I don't think Traylon Burks is that famous, right? But
football players is a weird thing too because people don't recognize them because they have their helmets on.
I recognize him because of his eyes and because like I draft him every week, so I know.
Right, you're not really running with the theme of this question.
I'll go with this prompt, Davis, and I know there's like security issues and stuff, but like I would have no interest in running up to the president and being like, "Nice to meet you, Mr. President." Like, it's just like it's the president. Like he just needs to.
There's a category of people who are so famous they're in the cultural consciousness, but you yourself have no attachment for them. Like if I saw Justin Bieber or someone of like that mega pop, it's like I literally don't care. I have no connection with you. I was more thinking like someone who's pretty famous but maybe more impactful to you. Like for me, I think it would be like if I saw Dave Grohl, I'd be like, I actually am too nervous to communicate with you. Like I don't think I could do it. So I'm just
Steven,
gonna let you come on the show. Your day.
Steven, come on the show real quick. I need to address this comment that you just put in the chat. Does the president count as a celebrity? Come on the show.
Hello.
Hey, did you make that comment?
Is the president a celebrity?
Of course the president is a celebrity. Donald Trump is the biggest celebrity in the world, and we miss him every day, Steven.
Yeah.
But he's a different situation. He was a celebrity before he was the president.
President Biden is a celebrity.
He was a celebrity.
You know what a celebrity is, Steven.
I think of it as someone as an athlete or an entertainer.
Oh, it's a famous person. That's literally
you guys are laughing. I get where Sosa's coming from here.
I get where he's coming from, but he's wrong.
See, Chip Skylar.
He might be wrong, but I don't think his
Biden is not a celebrity. That's
not every politician is a celebrity, but the biggest ones, Marco Rubio is a celebrity.
If they're famous, if you recognize them,
Rubio's not a celebrity.
Yes, he is.
I don't know
he
about
would get
Marco.
stopped
I don't know
at a
about
grocery
Rubio.
store.
Where does it stop? What level of government does it stop?
Another great question.
Well, like they're gotta be like in the news, like famous. Like you got to be famous, and that means like multiple AOC celebrity. She's a celebrity because like she's always
right. Her fame,
governors then, or
her
what?
fame is way bigger than her station in politics for
right.
sure. There are other people of her same station who have like 800 Twitter followers.
Yeah, I can only imagine.
Tony Evers. How about Tony Evers, guys?
Yeah, put this on the official Swolecast account. Let's get the poll. Yeah. Let's get conversation. Let's embrace debate. Is Biden a celebrity? Get that poll going.
It's going to be like 80-20 yes. And then, we're going to open ourselves up. We're going to open ourselves up to the wrong part of Twitter. And they're going to be like, he eats children. He can't be a celebrity.
Engagement farming, baby. We need it.
Does Joe Biden know himself? So let's thank you
guys. I saw the head of my school board the other day. Holy shit. Let me tell you, I could not talk to them.
That's like a local
celebrity status.
That's what we call local celebrities. There's local celebrities, and then there's like bigger celebrities. I'm on Pete's side. Pete and I.
I'm terrified that we're in line with these takes.
It's been a vibe.
Lamar Jackson, DJ Moore, presidential celebrities. This is bad for me.
Yeah, it's good. Mine would be like Katy Perry. If I saw her, I'd be like, "Do you remember?" That'd be mine.
David. He can't resist.
Okay, so with that being said, let's wrap it up. Final thoughts, Davis. Final thoughts.
Final thoughts. I really hope Chris Godwin gets traded to Kansas City and agrees to a contract restructure that makes his cap number go really low.
Okay. And Tuttle?
Final thoughts. Excellent low-key gambling day. We got UCL, we got EPL, we got League
Fantastic.
of Legends. Just great. Very thankful.
Why don't you just take the day off in preparation for tomorrow?
No,
I'm best day
very
of them all.
thankful for daylight savings to have happened because I would have
Yes.
had to be working on lineups right now for EPL and UCL. But I can, I was able to do the show, and now I can go grind some lineups.
I'm just grateful in general.
Yeah,
Tuttle, what's your pick?
Tournament.
NCAA tournament. Wisconsin's not in this year.
See, I don't know. I don't have a my surprise team is Creighton. Creighton's going to make it further than expected.
Blue Jays, very nice.
Yep.
All right, Pete. Final thoughts.
I just want to apologize to Steve. I was a little hard on him on the show today for a few things. I do need to give you your props for the Lamar Jackson gif. And if anything I said crossed the line, you can always call 1-800-327-5050 or visit helplinemass.org to speak with a trade specialist.
Yeah. Listen, first show of year 10. And if you haven't, go back and look at the year 9 highlights because producer Sosa did work a long time on those highlights. Now, some might say maybe it'd be a good thing to put those highlights in the intro for this year's show, which I'm sure he will get to once he's like able to.
More and more people are saying it's true.
Right. So, that being said, shout out to everyone that's been with us this far, who stuck with us this far. The road to 10K this year is going to be really fun. And also, if you don't think like conspiracy theories are a thing, you're probably the conspiracy theorist itself. That's probably the biggest conspiracy theory. So
if you can't spot the conspiracy theorist at the table, you're the conspiracy theorist.
Yeah, that's it. So with that being said, like the show, hit the thumbs up, and we'll see you next time here on the Swolecast on RotoGrinders.com. Peace.